Welcome back, dear viewers, and you are still watching Cairo Local Time. And the President Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated on Thursday the Organization of Islamic Conference 8th Ministerial Conference. And the President addressed the opening session. He said that Egypt is honored to preside over the 8th session of OIC Ministerial Conference. The President also said that it is a historical opportunity to show women's true status in Islam. And for an in-depth look into President Fattah al-Sisi's speech in the inaugural session of the OIC 8th Ministerial Conference on Women, we are joined by Dr. Nevine Nakhla. She is a business and economic expert. Good afternoon, Dr. Nevine.
Good afternoon to you, dear viewers. Good afternoon, Shireen.
Dr. Nevine, how did you read President Fattah al-Sisi's speech early in the day?
Today is a very special day in the lives of all Egyptian women. His Excellency, our beloved President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as you said, he inaugurated the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the 8th Ministerial Conference on Women.
Yes.
And this great opening for the conference that Egypt is hosting in the new administration capital is a real picture of modern Egypt and the Egypt rise and the new Egypt welcoming everyone with no discrimination or inequality.
Yes.
But with all the acceptance and in light of the principles of democracy, justice, and equality in Egypt. As you were mentioning, His Excellency also said that Egypt is working on the cooperation with member countries of the OIC organization.
Yes.
To make great achievements for women empowerment. It's good to highlight that the theme of the conference this year is preserving the gains of gender equality and empowering women in light of the coronavirus pandemic and beyond.
Yes.
Okay. His Excellency also confirmed that Egypt supported women very much during COVID-19, which started with the strategic planning to support women and growing state policies in many funds to assure the investment in people is the most important investment.
Yes. So, Dr. Nevine, the President also reviewed Egypt's efforts in the field of women empowerment. What are the main achievements in this field, in your opinion?
Yes, during the last 7 years, the Egyptian government has specified very large financial allocations to strengthen the social protection services provided to women and all the measures to protect them against any violence. His Excellency also during today, he said that the country also developed financial economical policies to further empower women, create job opportunities for irregular female workers.
Yes.
And many health initiatives related to women, presidential initiatives like the early detection of breast cancer and a lot more.
Also, the President was not only keen about the economic status of women, but he was also keen about their health, and he launched this important initiative for the early detections of many diseases related to women. Dr. Nevine, if we talk about the initiatives which were launched by the President in the past 7 years for the benefit of Egyptian women like Mastura and others, can you elaborate on this?
Yes, many initiatives like Mastura, like a lot of TOC for women in rural areas, a lot of economical empowerment, and a lot of funds. The good thing also today about the OIC 8th conference, that Egypt will be the president of the conference for the coming 2 years.
Yes. True.
And it's good to know and to tell everyone that Egypt was very keen to support this 8th conference, which is dedicated to empower women economically, and the conference His Excellency was supporting, since last month, he instructed the government to bear the cost of the annual contribution of all the 22 least developed countries to join. And also today marks a very, very important thing in the life of Egyptians. It marks the launch of the WGO,
Yes.
which is the first international organization in the framework of the OIC. It is the Women's Development Organization. And this organization specializes in promoting and protecting women's rights in all member states of the Islamic organization, the OIC. It's very good to highlight that the WGO, the Women's Development Organization, which was launched today, the permanent headquarters is in Egypt, in the new administrative capital.
Yes.
And His Excellency also assured the state support to the WGO technically and logistically since the starting of the charter. And as I was just saying, since last month, he instructed the government to bear all the costs for annual contribution for the 22 least countries to join the WGO. And he was saying that he is encouraging all Islamic countries to join.
Yes. So, Dr. Nevine, also the President said that during its presidency, Egypt's presidency of the OIC's 8th conference, in the coming 2 years, Egypt will strive to empower women economically, which he described as a key pillar to promoting gender equality as well as countering negative impact of terrorism and extremism on women. How can we achieve this?
The first thing to achieve is by the launch of this great women's development organization.
Yes.
And besides all the presidential initiatives and all the NGOs working and all the vision, the Women's Strategy 2030, the national strategy for empowering women, which is taking place since the constitutional change of the 20 articles for women empowerment. So also the Women's Development Organization, which will have the headquarters in Egypt, this will be another pillar and another hand to support women of Egypt. And as His Presidency said, as His Excellency said, that the most important investment and his vision in investment is in the investment of people themselves, not the investment only of infrastructure and no, it's the investment of people education and women education. You know that women are exactly half the Egyptian population.
True.
48.8% of the Egyptian population. So they really present half the society. So empowering women will continue be the vision and the real policies and strategies and execution to support the character of women of Egypt.
Yes. Also, during the session, head of the National Council for Women, Dr. Maya Morsi, took over the presidency of the conference from Burkina Faso's Minister of Women, and she addressed the conference expressing her appreciation to President Sisi for his continuous backing of women's rights and his deep belief of their leading role in the society. So can you tell us more about the National Council for Women and its achievements in the field of women empowerment?
We can take 2, 3, 4, 5 hours talking about the achievements of the National Council. And as Dr. Maya Morsi said before, the Egyptian women are living the golden era. since the last 7 years with his excellency support for women.
Yes.
And the council are doing a lot of initiatives on the ground, not on paper, not ink on paper. It's a lot of initiatives on the ground supporting women. A lot of women took a lot of rights from the constitutional articles of inheritance to protection to the banning of circumcision. A lot of support and funds and learning and training and incubators for Egyptian women.
Yes. So also the government has earmarked large financial allocations to strengthen the social protection services providing for women, enhancing measures for protecting them against violence. So how do you see these measures?
These measures are very important
Yes.
because in rural areas,
yes,
we call them the breadwinning women. Who have irregular jobs or home-made jobs. They need a large financial allocation to strengthen the social protection for them.
Yes.
For example, Haya Karima,
decent life,
the
yes.
social solidarity, a lot of support. A lot of support for women
in rural areas.
And a lot of creating job opportunities for these irregular female workers. And also helping them, the National Council and the Egyptian state with all its ministries, they are helping Egyptian women to go officially and to have an official business, especially for small startups. It's good to highlight that we had, for example, a problem in the tomato implantation. 35% were lost during the transportation.
Yes.
And the Ministry of Social Solidarity launched, with the National Council, they launched the sun-dried tomato project in the field for a lot of small workers and a lot of irregular job women working. So I mean a lot of things happening and in a very strategic and in a very well planned and in a very cooperative way between all the ministries. Like the Minister of Immigration, they have a great initiative called Maratib Najat, both
yes.
for rescue, working on the 8 governor rates with youth, women pushing their youth to have illegal immigration to get money. So this initiative is working very hard with the initiative of the Social Solidarity initiative of Fursa, which is, to translate it, it's called a chance. So a real cooperation and a real, strategic plan, not bits and pieces happening. No, it's a full, very big strategic plan, very well played by the maestro, Dr. Hala Saeed as well, and under the auspices of His Excellency, our beloved President, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi.
Yes, also the government was keen to cooperate with the different NGOs in the field of empowering women and reaching them in rural areas and develop their skills and status in general. So can you tell us more about this cooperation?
Yes, a lot of NGOs. I will just highlight few, not to miss any name, big name
yes,
working in the field.
Don't mention.
I don't mention names.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of NGOs doing a lot of training, also with the presidential vision of investing in people. So the era of distributing money or distributing food is not now.
Yes, it's not existing anymore. Yes,
it's not the vision of Egypt now, because the food will finish, but she doesn't teach them anything. So His Excellency is really, with his vision and with his advice to everyone, even the NGOs now are working on the investment in people and in education of people, and showing them vocationally and, of course, literacy. This is a very important thing that all NGOs are working on now, is literacy, especially of women.
Yes.
We don't want any more illiterate women in the new era and the golden era of Egypt.
Yes, because if you educate women, women will be able to educate their children, and this will help in solving the problem of illiteracy in many rural areas.
Yeah, and not only literacy of spoken language or written language, literacy of behavior, literacy of loving the country and of being part of
yes.
Egypt and feeling they are part of Egypt, especially in the places on the faraway places, Upper Egypt and in all around the governorate, not only Cairo and Alexandria anymore. I mean, the empowerment and the education and the support for women and for the rural areas. Let's have a highlight on the many places that were very rural and very underserved, and people were moved to Ismarat and moved to very well-prepared houses, living with clean water and electricity and clean windows. We used to see in the past people living with no ceiling,
yes,
no clean water, no electricity, and this is not anymore.
Yes, true.
Even if there are still very small little villages, but they are under the what you call their turn is coming soon.
Yes, finally, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Nevine Nakhla, economic and business expert. Thank you for being with us today. And give yours a short break, and we'll be back, so stay tuned.